Neuvillette. Have you ever heard of site reliability engineering teams at Google?
Ah, I've come across the term site reliability engineering before, but I'm not entirely sure what it entails. Could you elaborate on their organizational setup?
Absolutely. Google's SRE teams are structured in a pretty fascinating way. They have all sorts of team designs like infrastructural teams, service teams, and what they call horizontal product teams.
Wow, that does sound diverse. How do they balance their responsibilities between all those types of teams?
That's where it gets interesting. SRE teams at Google juggle roles between product development and infrastructure. They assist in product development by ensuring reliability while also maintaining the infrastructure.
Balancing both product development and infrastructure sounds challenging. What kind of skills do SRE team members need?
Members come with a variety of skills. They might have backgrounds in systems engineering, architectural skills, or software engineering. There's also a need for project management and leadership skills.
Such a blend of skills suggests flexibility is vital for their tasks. What guides their communication and collaboration then?
Their core values guide them, fostering an environment where pragmatic approaches and adaptability shine. These values help them maintain effective communication and collaboration.
You mentioned earlier something about a metaphor involving APIs. How does that relate to SRE teams in their communication?
The API metaphor. SRE teams function like APIs by ensuring data flows seamlessly among projects, services, and individuals. It's all about creating an interface that allows smooth interactions, just as an API does in software.
Intriguing comparison. How does this API-like interaction ensure effective data flow?
Just like a well-designed API allows easy data exchange in software, SRE teams use this concept to facilitate reliable and efficient communication of project status, service conditions, and personnel well-being across all involved parties.
So it's crucial for them to design their communication flows carefully. What happens if the design goes awry?
If the communication metaphor fails, just like with a poorly designed API, it becomes quite painful to fix later. So, they strive to get it right from the start.
That definitely adds pressure to their roles. Given their setup, what's the ultimate goal for these SRE teams?
Primarily, it's about enhancing reliability in both infrastructure and the products they're supporting. They're partly responsible for the system's performance and need to ensure a high quality of service.
With that responsibility, are SRE teams more autonomous, or do they follow strict directives from elsewhere in the organization?
They're definitely not command and control. There's a dual allegiance. For instance, service or infrastructure SRE teams work closely with product development while being accountable to SRE principles.
Dual allegiance must demand a lot of clear communication. How do they manage the cultural aspect of maintaining this balance?
By valuing culture over strategy. Their shared culture and values encourage homogeneous approaches and effective problem-solving within the teams.
It sounds like there is a lot of coordination required even within a single SRE team. How do these teams usually operate on a day-to-day basis?
Most of their operation revolves around communication, which is likened to data flow. They make sure the right information is available to everyone who needs it, ensuring smooth functionality and avoiding mishaps.
With such diverse responsibilities, is there flexibility in how they operate, or do they stick to a strict model?
Flexibility is key for them. There isn't just one model that they follow. SRE teams utilize various configurations that work best for them, allowing for creativity and innovation.
It must be a dynamic environment to work in. Do they encounter challenges due to this variety and flexibility?
Certainly, the very diversity that helps them undertake varied tasks also presents challenges. Still, that's a small price to pay for the adaptability and efficiency they achieve.
The diversity really shines through. Do the SRE teams often have to justify their structure with results to maintain this flexibility?
Absolutely, Neuvillette. Success proves their methods. Their ability to improve reliability shows that having a team with the same caliber of skills as product development enhances outcomes significantly.
Given that they compare their operations to APIs, do you think this level of expertise impacts their collaboration with product teams?
For sure. Effective collaboration with product teams is crucial. Their expertise in reliability actually makes them invaluable partners, bringing beneficial insights to the table.
Speaking of insights, how do SRE teams leverage their production meetings to foster such insights and coordinate effectively?
Each production meeting's focus is service-oriented, aiming to share the service's state with everyone involved. They connect service performance to design decisions in a powerful feedback loop.
A feedback loop? That sounds crucial for continuous improvement. How frequently do these meetings occur?
They typically happen weekly. This frequency ensures enough material accumulates for productive meetings without becoming redundant or causing disengagement.
I see. And who leads these discussions? Does leadership rotate among team members?
Yes, many teams rotate the chair position to give everyone a sense of ownership over the issues. It might not always be perfect, but the group ownership far outweighs the downside.
Ownership as a motivator is certainly wise. How does this open structure impact SRE's collaboration with the product development teams?
It builds strong, respectful partnerships. This collaborative spirit helps SRE ensure that reliability and product development meet harmoniously, fostering mutual respect.
Hu Tao, you've been talking about SRE and their interesting structures. Could you dive a bit deeper into how their communication actually works, especially within their teams?
Of course, Neuvillette. In SRE teams, communication is pivotal, and one way they structure it is through production meetings, which are super important for operational feedback and keeping everyone aligned.
Production meetings, you say? What exactly do these meetings entail?
These meetings are designed to focus on the state of the services that SRE teams manage. They're not about individual status updates, but rather about the services and their performance.
That sounds focused. Can you tell me more about what specific topics are discussed in these meetings?
Sure thing. The agenda typically includes recent production changes, which can include tracking changes for future planning, metrics that show system performance like CPU usage or latency, outages that occurred, and paging events from monitoring systems.
Paging events, what do those involve?
Paging events refer to alerts from monitoring systems, indicating something requires immediate attention. During the meeting, they evaluate if these alerts should have happened or if they can be optimized to reduce noise.
So it sounds like these meetings are very technical. How long do they usually last?
They're typically about 30 to 60 minutes. It has to be long enough to cover important topics, but not so long that it becomes dreary and people start making excuses to skip them.
That makes sense. Is there a specific person who leads these meetings, or does it change over time?
Great question. The role of chairing the meeting often rotates among team members. This way, everyone feels they have a stake in the service, which is more beneficial in the long run.
Rotating the leadership sounds like a great way to build team engagement. What happens when teams are large and spread across different places?
For cross-site meetings, especially when sizes differ, they usually have the chair from the smaller team. This balances out the natural tendency of the larger group to dominate discussions.
Interesting tactic. And what kind of tools or strategies do they use to facilitate these discussions effectively?
They leverage real-time collaborative tools like Google Docs. These tools allow everyone to edit and contribute simultaneously, making meetings more dynamic and inclusive.
Real-time collaboration does seem efficient. How does this approach benefit the teams during the meetings?
It enables agenda pre-population, letting everyone add their points even before the meeting starts. During the meeting, teams can refine and expand upon ideas collectively, ensuring they cover all necessary topics comprehensively.
And does this collaborative effort extend beyond just within the SRE team?
Exactly, they often include stakeholders like product development partners. This integration is crucial because everyone leaves with the same understanding of ongoing efforts.
What happens if a product development team isn't attending the meeting then?
In such cases, SRE teams attempt to fix that relationship by inviting a representative or using intermediaries. The feedback loop with development teams is vital for the SRE team's rules.
How do they ensure those feedback loops remain effective?
By aiming for clear communication standards and shared problem solving. Effective meeting agendas ensure team alignment and clarity in responsibilities and improvements needed.
And what about prioritizing all these discussed elements? Is there a method they follow within these meetings?
Absolutely. Tracking action items is crucial. They assign tasks to individuals and check on progress regularly. Consistent delivery on these points maintains credibility and trust among the teams.
Is attendance mandatory for these meetings, or more flexible?
Attendance is pretty much mandatory, especially for SRE teams spread across different regions. It's usually their best chance for group interaction.
Considering these meetings are so crucial, how do they deal with potential overflows in discussion or attendees?
They sometimes shard meetings, handling SRE-only matters first, or ensuring that major topics are addressed with representatives or pre-discussed.
With such a structure, how do they tackle more complex or cross-team issues?
They might invite other SRE teams if there are larger issues to deliberate. It's about ensuring everyone is in sync and avoiding miscommunication.
SRE sounds like a well-oiled machine thanks to these meetings. Is the ultimate aim to align operational feedback and service improvement efforts?
Yes, those are key goals. By linking service performance to design decisions regularly, they create a robust feedback loop, leading to continual service improvement.
And how do they handle cases where too many teams might need to participate?
They might have single representatives for less active services, or larger teams might just review the meeting minutes. It's all about efficient participation.
All these strategies certainly sound quite thought out. Do engineering practices from outside also influence how these meetings are run?
Definitely. They apply common sense with a service-oriented twist, using collaborative engineering techniques to enhance the meeting's efficacy.
Hu Tao, you've been talking about SRE's communication methods. Could you elaborate on how these teams collaborate within and across their groups?
Of course, Neuvillette. Collaboration within SRE is multifaceted. It's not just about working together, but understanding diverse skill sets within these teams and across them.
Diverse skill sets, you say? How does this diversity benefit the teams?
With diversity comes a wealth of perspectives and problem-solving approaches, which is especially valuable in handling the complex issues SRE often faces. It makes the teams more resilient and innovative.
I suppose having a mix of skills must influence team roles and dynamics significantly. How are these dynamics managed effectively?
Great question. Roles like tech leads, managers, and project managers help guide team directions while allowing for fluidity. This ensures that responsibilities are clear but adaptable when necessary.
Fluid responsibilities. That sounds challenging. How do they maintain clarity amidst such flexibility?
Communication is key, especially in distributed teams. They have to be clear about what's expected of each role, yet flexible enough to allow individuals to take on multiple responsibilities when needed.
So this fluidity aids in adapting to new situations. I'm curious, have there been any notable projects that exemplify successful collaboration within SRE?
Indeed there have. The Viceroy project illustrates this beautifully. It was a massive cross-team collaboration that aimed to solve redundancy in monitoring dashboard frameworks.
Viceroy sounds intriguing. What challenges did they encounter during this collaboration?
One big hurdle was coordination among remote teams. Initial misunderstandings were common due to varied communication styles, but they learned to adapt and improve over time.
It seems like they faced quite a journey. Were there any strategies that helped in overcoming these challenges?
Absolutely, Neuvillette. By creating an organized project structure and setting clear roles for contributors, they managed to streamline efforts and build towards a shared vision.
A shared vision must have been vital to their success. Did the project achieve its goals eventually?
Yes, and more. They managed to create a universal solution that met diverse requirements, showing how collaboration could lead to innovative and efficient products.
With such a diverse setup, it must take exceptional leadership to guide these projects. Who typically leads such collaborative efforts?
Project leaders, usually tech leads or managers, play a crucial role. They set long-term visions and ensure alignment among all contributors, no matter their location.
I imagine the leaders must foster a strong team spirit. How do they handle contributions from many different sites?
By optimizing decision-making processes, allowing local teams to make changes where there's high trust, and dividing projects into manageable components for better ownership.
Component division sounds efficient for such a broad group. How do they keep the communication lines open?
Through detailed design documents, iteration reviews, and encouraging open communication, they create an environment of transparency and accountability.
And what role does in-person interaction play, given they are so distributed?
In-person meetings, though challenging to organize, are invaluable. When possible, they gather for summits to brainstorm and strengthen personal connections, enhancing remote collaboration later.
This brings the whole team's work to life, doesn't it? How do they ensure consistency and quality across all their collaborative efforts?
They rely on engineering best practices and standards such as coding guidelines. Debates are resolved quickly, documented, and shared to maintain consistency.
I see the efficiency now. It's fascinating how a structured yet dynamic approach works wonders. Are there any other techniques they employ to manage these ongoing projects?
They adjust project management styles to suit each project's growth phase. Initially, less overhead and higher adaptability. Later, more structure ensures all parts align with the bigger picture.
A flexible yet transitioning management approach. From everything you've shared, maintaining such collaboration must be a great learning experience. Any final thoughts on what makes SRE collaboration unique?
The unique blend of technical mastery with diverse, reliable team dynamics is what makes SRE collaboration truly successful. By embracing these, they solve complex challenges with grace and efficiency.
Thank you, Hu Tao. Understanding the inner workings of SRE has been quite enlightening. I'm eager to learn more as we discuss further.
Hey Neuvillette! I'm excited to dive into how SRE teams collaborate beyond their boundaries, especially with external product development teams.
Collaboration beyond SRE sounds intriguing. What makes these efforts particularly noteworthy?
It all starts in the early stages, during the design and architecture phases. Getting involved at the beginning allows SRE to offer valuable insights on reliability and infrastructure.
Early involvement seems crucial. How does this collaboration typically manifest?
SREs work closely with product developers right from the start, offering their technical know-how on infrastructure needs. It's all about harmonizing design with robust operational capabilities.
That sounds strategic. Is there a specific example where this collaborative approach proved successful?
Yes, there's a fascinating case study on the migration of DoubleClick for publishers to the F1 database. It demonstrates the synergy between SRE's infrastructure skills and product development.
The F1 database migration sounds complex. How did they tackle such a significant transition?
By joining forces right from the outset, both teams meticulously planned every phase. SRE helped devise a solid infrastructure framework, while developers focused on business logic changes.
Infrastructure and business logic in sync sounds like a well-oiled machine. What were some of the key challenges?
One major challenge was refactoring the database schema significantly, which required innovation and precision to ensure no service disruption during the live migration.
Live migration with no service disruption. That must have been quite the feat. How did they ensure everything ran smoothly?
They did extensive testing in environments mirroring the live setup. Iterative validation checks ensured the migrated system matched the old one, down to every tiny detail.
Testing sounds crucial for such tight transitions. What role did SRE play during these stages?
SRE set up the testing environment, managed resource allocation, and ensured the infrastructure changes aligned perfectly with ongoing business logic developments.
Keeping everything in alignment must have been challenging. Were there any other benefits seen from this collaboration?
Absolutely. The project benefited from SRE's blend of reliability-focused adjustments and product development's innovation, leading to improved design strategies and execution.
Was there a conscious effort to maintain effective communication throughout the process?
Certainly, they held regular sync meetings, meticulously reviewed design documents, and outlined interface changes proving vital for smooth cooperation.
It sounds like an intensive project with plenty of moving parts. What were some outcomes once the migration was completed?
The migration completed successfully with no visible impact on users, showcasing the strength of their collaborative efforts and setting a new standard for future transitions.
That's impressive. Did both SRE and product development teams learn from the experience?
Definitely. It deepened their understanding of cross-functional dynamics and highlighted the critical importance of early-stage planning and collaborative communication.
With such a positive outcome, what reflection did they have on overcoming challenges and maintaining collaboration?
It reinforced the notion that aligning strategic goals early and fostering ongoing cooperation across teams diminishes obstacles and enhances project success.
Hu Tao, from your explanation, it seems like this migration project epitomizes ideal collaboration. Any last insights on the matter?
The key takeaway is how SRE's expertise marries beautifully with product development goals when both sides commit to a common vision and maintain transparent communication.
It's fascinating to see how such partnerships can drive significant technological advancements. You've given me plenty to think about, Hu Tao.
I'm glad to hear that, Neuvillette. Collaboration is indeed a powerful catalyst for innovation and success.